What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It is early Sunday morning. If my voice is low or monotone without a lot of enthusiasm, sorry, it's because my family's upstairs sleeping. It is 5:30 in the morning right now, Sunday, September 22nd. We're going to analyze the Chiefs-Falcons game. I'm going to give you two bets on the sports books, and then we're going to go over some player props. This is in real time. Right now, I'm finding these bets as we speak, so I'm going to kind of walk you guys through how I'm finding these picks and why I'm doing them. Okay, why I'm going to take the two sportsbook bets I'm going to take, and then we're going to go through the player props. We're going to find some good props, and we're going to put a slip together. All right, I'm going to give you four picks. That's my goal, is to find you four picks. Whether or not you want to play them as two two-mans or one four-man, that's up to you guys. I'll leave that up to you. But I'm just going to find four good picks that I think are going to win, and I'll let you decide on how you want to put those picks together in a slip. All right, so like I said, Sunday Night Football, Chiefs-Falcons. This game is tonight. Start time's at 6:20 p.m. As usual, you're going to get Carrie Underwood kicking off the day. Like I said, guys, it's 5:30 in the morning, so excuse me. I'll be sipping my coffee as I'm recording here. But real quick, guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I appreciate all the support I can get, so I would appreciate a subscribe. I'm just gonna put that out there. I am one of those people that I will every once in a while ask you to subscribe to the channel, just because I'm trying to grow it. I'm trying to make this a full-time thing so I can just get bets for you guys all day long, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever it may be, all year long, all day long. So I do appreciate the support. I do this for you guys. If you like my style, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you don't, I won't be offended if you don't like what I'm doing here. All right, that's just the way it is. I don't get offended easily. So drop a comment if you guys like what I'm putting out. If you don't, let me know. I can take criticism, or I can take one on the chin if you just really don't like my style at all. But Chiefs-Falcons, let's get right into the picks, guys. Right now, I'm looking at the lines here. It opened at Chiefs -3.5, Falcons +3.5. Obviously, the money was going a little bit one certain way. The Chiefs are now at -3. Falcons are at +3. So a lot of people were betting on Chiefs -3.5, so they started to close that line a little bit to see if they can get some people to bet on Falcons +3. Trying to even out that line some, even out where the money's going. The Chiefs are, in my opinion, the better football team all around. Obviously, they've been together longer. They have more experience together. Falcons have a new head coach in Raheem Morris, new offensive coordinator in Zach Robinson. They're still trying to gel together. New quarterback in Kirk Cousins. Sorry, I didn't mention that one. Just a lot of new down there in Atlanta. So it is going to take them a few games to really start clicking together. The Chiefs, really, to be honest, the only thing new on the offensive side of the ball for them is Xavier Worthy. Rashee Rice was there last year. Obviously, Kelsey Mahomes. Offensive line is, for the most part, intact from what it was last year. Pacheco went down. They're going to be playing with Carson Steele, Samaje Perine today. Both of those two guys are new to the team this year. But the running back position isn't as vital in the operation of an offense as receivers and quarterbacks are. Really, if you know football scheme and how things operate, running backs, yes, you do need to know the plays. You do need to know where you're going, what the protections are. But for the most part, the protections are going to be the same. The terminology is going to be different team to team, OC to OC, but essentially the protection's going to be the same. If it's slide left, back is picking up on the right, then whatever that terminology is in that offense, you can pick that up. And you're right next to the quarterback, so if you really don't know it yet, the quarterback can be like, hey, slide right. And then you know. It's very easy for a running back to adjust to a new offense than it is for a receiver and a quarterback. Receivers, the passing schemes, yes, for the most part, concepts are concepts across the NFL. Every NFL team has some form or version of drive concept, mesh concept, Hank concept, whatever it may be. They all have those concepts, just different terminology. But the difference is you have a different quarterback, and chemistry with a quarterback is huge. So that's why I think the Falcons are a little slower coming on this year than the Chiefs are. It is week 3. I think the Falcons will start to pick up as the season goes. but I do think the Chiefs should win this game. I'm actually going to take the Chiefs on that money line. I'm going to take Chiefs -3, kind of based on what I'm telling you as far as the football analysis side of things, with the Chiefs being back-to-back Super Bowl champs and already having their offense kind of gelled and meshed together from last year and the year before. And you guys know Kelsey Mahomes have been together forever. Rashee Rice last year had a good year. He's already cooking this year. Xavier Worthy, he's their home run guy. He's going to be that hit or miss guy. And I do think there's going to be opportunities against the Falcons for Xavier Worthy to pop off some big plays. We'll see how it goes, guys. I do like Chiefs -3. The implied probability on that game is 53.5%, meaning the odds are at -115. So it opened at a little bit better odds. It opened at -3.5 with -107 odds. So slightly better payout for us. It's going the other way for taking the Chiefs line. Typically, I like to go with the line movement, and as the spread gets bigger for the Falcons, I would take the Falcons on their spread. But it only moved half a point. So even if Chiefs win by 3, it's still a push, not a loss. So it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's really not a bad thing. It's like kissing your stepsister. I mean, if she's cute, right? Nobody wants to kiss their stepsister, but it's not the end of the world if you have to. Crazy analogy there. I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, Chiefs -3. That's going to be my first pick for this Chiefs-Falcons game. And then you guys, if you follow my channel, you may not know too much about how I'm betting on the books because most of my sportsbook plays are in my VIPs. And so if you're one of my VIP members, you do know kind of how I like to bet NFL and college football games on the books. And I try to find the best lines with the best odds compared across all books. So I'm looking at my odds screen right now, and I'm trying to find positive expected value bets with a high percentage to hit. And when I say high percentage to hit, I mean giving us a better than 50% chance. So not only are we getting an edge over Vegas by comparing all the books and all the lines and getting the best price for a specific bet, but we're also getting an edge by the implied probability of how likely that play is to hit. So the one I'm looking at for Chiefs Falcons right now, this is a second quarter bet, second quarter only, and it's second quarter total. So that means Chiefs and Falcons, however many points they score, add those up, that's the total. Right now the line is set right around 13.5, 14.5, depending on the book. DraftKings has it at 13.5 points. FanDuel has it at 14.5 points. We're getting a 3.6% positive expected value. If we take the under at 14.5 points, this is actually giving us a 56% implied probability. So that's implied based on the books. Now, one thing I like to do is compare this line to the sharp books. However, sharp books don't often have first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, individual quarter over under totals. So I cannot compare this to a sharp book like Pinnacle or Circa or any Bet Online, one of those sharp books. However, Bookmaker is one of the sharper books. They have this line set at 13.5, and the under on their line is a 53% implied probability. So they're thinking that there's a 53% chance. It's basically a 50-50. If you guys know much about sports betting, I'll give you just a quick little learning point here. There's a thing called vigorish implied. So both sides of the line, over or under, are both at 53%. Obviously, that's higher than 100%, but that extra 6% is the vig that they're putting on this play. So there's implied probability to go over is 53%. Implied probability to go under is 53%. Really, that's just saying it's a 50-50 split, but with their vig on top of it, it's 53%, 53%. That's where that extra 6% comes from. So Bookmaker is saying there's a 50-50 chance it goes over or under at 13.5. We're going to get this play at 14.5, and FanDuel is giving us that line with a higher implied probability at 56% to go over. To go under that line for us. So there's your two picks on the books for the Falcons Chiefs game, guys. Under 14.5, second quarter total. This is the second quarter only. Make sure you select quarters and choose the second quarter total. Under 14.5, and then we're taking Chiefs -3 on this game. Do I hope the Falcons win? For my fandom, yes, I do. I don't like the Chiefs, just so you guys know. But I am going to bet with my head, and I do think the Chiefs are going to win this game. But I hope the Falcons do. Not for my wallet, but for my fandom. So I'm kind of torn here, but I do got to go with the smart play. And Chiefs -3 is the smart play here. So just real quick, I will give you guys the best odds and best book for you to the best line for you to get this play on. Chiefs Falcons at -3. The best payout for you is going to be on Circa. If you have Circa Sportsbook, get it on there. They have the best odds and payout for you guys. Like I said, my odds screen shows every single book that I use compared across each other and kind of spits out the best pick for me. The true line here should be -3 at -101. According to my odds screen in the AI algorithm I'm using here, -101 odds at Chiefs -3, which would mean +3 on the Falcons at +101 odds. So if you think the Falcons are going to cover that spread, best place for you to place that bet on is FanDuel. They're giving you -104 odds. True odds should be in the plus territory at +101, so right around even, but no book is offering plus odds, okay? So there's your sports book plays, guys. Now we're going to move over into the player props realm of things. Now, same thing, guys, on the player props. I'm looking at all the books compared, trying to get the best line. So what I mean by line is, say, let's use Patrick Mahomes as an example, and these are just spitball numbers. This is not what his line is. If his line is at 250 yards on one book, or DFS app, if you're using DFS player prop apps, say it's at 250 yards on one and 245 on another. I'm comparing those lines, trying to get the best probability and best line for us to win. So if I'm going to take the over, I obviously want to take it at 245 instead of 250 because that's a 5-yard buffer for us for him to go over that pick. And then I also look at the sports books and see what their implied probability is of that pick to hit. Now, a lot of daily fantasy player apps don't have different odds. Now, Sleeper does. They have dynamic payouts. Chalkboard has dynamic payouts. But think apps like Dabble, it's a set payout. So it doesn't matter what the odds are. 2 picks is going to give you a 6x or 3x payout. 3 picks gives you a 6x payout. 4 picks gives you a 10x payout. So on and so forth, but it does not matter how likely that pick is to hit. So if I can find a pick on where a sharp book is saying it's, say, 58% likely to hit, so that's giving us incredible odds of actually hitting that pick, and then throw it in on an app like Dabble where the odds don't matter, it just matters how many picks you hit. That's an edge for us, right? So here we go into the player prop side of things, guys. Right now, I'm looking at passing yards. Kirk Cousins, his line's at 235.5 passing yards. Mahomes' line is at 267.5 passing yards. All right. Now, projections are saying Cousins is going to throw for 231 yards. Mahomes is going to throw for 248 yards. 267 yards for Patrick Mahomes. That's what his line is at. Now, historically, if we're looking at it, can Patrick Mahomes throw for 267 yards? Absolutely. Has he been doing it this year? Kind of. That's the right answer. 291 is what he threw for against Baltimore. Cincinnati, he went for 151. The Chiefs are no longer a pass-dominant team. However, the Chiefs have 2 running backs that are not their starting running back. Carson Steele and Samaje Perine are the 2 guys they're rolling out there today. They do have to run the ball to beat the Falcons. They cannot just go out there and sling it, but I do think they are going to be more of a passing team again this game than they have been recently over the last year. I mean, all of last year, they were not a pass-dominant team. They just weren't. They were a running team and a defensive team. Even though they have Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I'm looking at his last 10 games chart, guys. 6 of his last 10 games, he went under this line. He had 200, and his most passing yards he had last year was 333. That was in the Super Bowl. Okay, so in his last 10, not all of last year. That was in the Super Bowl, okay? So the Chiefs just didn't do it as much last year. This year, they're kind of the same. They have been running the ball more, but I do think because Carson Steele is out, because Isaiah Pacheco is out, Carson Steele is in, Samaje Perine is in, and Samaje Perine is a great receiving back, and that dude is quite possibly the best pass protection running back we've seen in the last 20 years. The dude is just solid. That's why he's going to play a lot today. That's why he's going to play on third down every time. So I do think the Chiefs are going to pass more today, and Patrick Mahomes' projection on props.cash, what I'm looking at right here, is a lot higher. He's projected to go for 276 passing yards on props.cash. According to Number Fire and algorithms I'm looking at, he's projected to go for 248 passing yards. So it's very big differences there. Let's see what his line is on the daily fantasy app. His line's sitting right at 266 yards, guys. The over is actually slightly favored. Slightly. When I say slightly, I mean slightly. We're getting two different projections here. One on the over, one barely on the under. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I think because of, like I said, the running back situation, Chiefs are going to throw more. Mahomes is going to go over 266 passing yards. That is my personal projection on that one. I'm looking at both of the AI projections that I'm getting from two different sites. Let me do one more. I'll do one more projection here and see what that one comes out to. But 266 yards is the line on Dabble. And I've told you this before, guys. The odds don't matter on Dabble. If a pick is a pick, no matter what. If it's if it's two picks, you get 3x payout. 3 picks, you get a 6x payout, so on and so forth. So we're trying to find picks that are actually going to hit, not necessarily that have the best odds. Now, this projection I'm looking at here is saying Patrick Mahomes at 264 yards. Pretty much right at where the line is set, at 266 yards. I'm going to say over. Let me know what you guys think. This is my first pick. Now I'm going to look at Kirk Cousins on the passing yards, and then we're going to correlate these picks with their top receivers. Kirk Cousins, 236 passing yards right now is what he's projected at. Over-under set at 235 passing yards, 235 and a half. So right there at where the line is set. Now I'm looking at 231 with a different projection, and let me go to the last one. I'm going to use 3 different projections here, 3 different websites. The next one is saying projected at 223 yards. I'm also thinking that's kind of around the same thing. I don't think they're gelled and meshed together quite yet up in Atlanta. So I'm going to take Cousins on the under, set at 235 and a half yards. Let me check real quick with the daily fantasy apps and see where his line is set on there. So on Dabble, it's set at 234 yards. So a yard less than what it's set at on the best book that we're getting. So I'm going to hit Kirk Cousins on the under and Mahomes on the over on passing yards. Now we're going to go into receiving yards. Whoops, I just clicked on extra points. We don't need extra points made. And we're going to scroll down in receiving yards to the Chiefs-Falcons game because we're just doing Chiefs-Falcons picks for this video. I am putting out a ton more picks on my VIP subscribers. If you're a VIP, you'll get those. If not, there's a link in the description down here, guys. You can get my game day pass. It's just the weekend pass, 50% off using code London. And that'll get you every single football play I'm putting out for the weekend. It is Sunday right now, so everybody that uses that 50% off code is going to get it because you missed Saturday yesterday. So get in on that. You'll get all my NFL picks today. Now we're down here in receiving yards. We're going to find Rashee Rice first. Let me find Rashee's line. His line is at 75 yards. On Bet365, it's at 78.5 yards on Bovada. Those are the two lines that I'm seeing for best lines for the over or the under, whatever category you're taking or whatever side of the line you're taking on this category. Projection right here is showing me at 68 yards. Let me look at props.cash. They have good projections, but as the season goes on, their projections get better. I don't know their algorithm, but I do think they use current season pretty heavily weighted. Rashee Rice, 75.5 yards is where his line is set at. Like I said, 63 yards is his projection on props.cash. And what did I say over here? 68 yards is where his line is projected on my odds screen on unabated. So on Dabble, his line is at 76.5. The odds at 76.5 are actually minus odds. So minus 102 odds to go over at 76.5. This is according to Odds Jams, their algorithm. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but they have an algorithm that they put together based on all of the books. They use mostly the sharp books, but his line is at minus 101 odds to go over this line at 76.5 yards. 75.5 yards on DraftKings, minus 114 odds. So a lot of the books are giving us minus odds for him to go over. Caesars has the same line as Dabble at 76.5. They're giving it minus 118 odds. So the implied probability for him to go over is better than it is to go under. Props.cash, like I said, has him projected under, but I don't know for sure. I just get the feeling that they're using the current season as heavily weighted for those projections. He had 103 against Baltimore. Last week he had 75, so he was only a yard under what we need him to get. I'm going to take Rashee Rice on the over. Like I said earlier, I do think that the Chiefs are going to be throwing a lot more because of their running back situation, and if Mahomes hits that over, his number one receiver right now is Rashee Rice. Expect Rashee Rice to also go over. I expect Rice to probably get upwards of 10, 12 targets, probably have 6 or 7 catches. He can easily cover this line for us. Take Rashee Rice on the over. And then I'm going to go over to the Falcons receivers now. Like I said, we're taking Cousins on the under. And we're going to look at what the lines are for the Falcons receivers. Right now, Drake London is set at 62.5 on Bet365. Let's see what he's set at over here on the DFS apps. I do want to check in on that one, see, because the DFS apps sometimes are different. Sometimes they give us better lines, sometimes they give us weaker lines. It kind of just depends on the pick and the game, really. So we got, come on, load. Sorry, guys, for some reason my internet's being slow all of a sudden. All right, we got it up here. Dabble's got the line at 63 yards for Drake London. So 63 yards as opposed to 67 on a lot of the sports books. So at 63 yards, the under is favored at minus 105. It's actually going to be minus 105 on the under at 61 yards on DraftKings, 62 yards on BetMGM, 62 yards on Caesars. All of them have the under favored here that I just mentioned, except for BetMGM has the over favored at minus 105. So pretty darn even, minus 105 plus 105 type of odds on Drake London's over-under here at 63 yards. That's not a lot of yards, guys. 63 yards in the NFL is really not a lot. So I'm going to take a look on props.cash here and see what they've got Drake London at. They've got him projected at 57 yards. If you look at his last 2 games, it is not good. All right, he had 15 yards week 1, 54 yards last week, but he did have the touchdown last week. I'm thinking it's probably going to be pretty similar, especially if we're taking Kirk Cousins on the under. Everything I'm looking at here, all the odds screens, the odds, the probabilities, the projections, all that combined with Kirk Cousins going on the under. I'm going to take Drake London on the under at 60. What did I say? I'm sorry, 63 yards. So hit Drake London on the under. Pair that with Kirk Cousins. So we got Cousins under his passing yards, London under his receiving yards. Correlate those 2 picks together. Patrick Mahomes under on his passing yards. Over on his passing yards. Rashee Rice over on his passing yards. Correlate that, pair those 2 picks together. That's how I do my slips, guys. I try to find quarterback, receiver, pair them together. If quarterback's going over, his number one receiver, number one option is likely going over, barring injury. But if we get an injury, we're probably getting the pick voided anyways. Same thing with the under. If a quarterback's going under, his number one receiver is likely to go under. Correlate those picks together. There's your 4 picks. Like I said, I was going to give you 4 picks. Put it in as a 2-man and a 2-man if you'd like. Put it in as a 4-man if you'd like. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Bet whatever your unit is. I'm going to bet my unit. You bet your unit. Everybody's different. Depends on your bankroll, how much you're willing to bet. But those are the 4 picks. Like I said earlier, gave you guys the sportsbook plays as well on top of it. That's your breakdown of the Chiefs-Falcons game. Who do I think is going to win? I think the Chiefs are going to win. They're going to cover that -3 spread. Who do I want to win? For fandom's sake, I want the Falcons to win. You guys can see right back here. Go Broncos. Sorry, there it is. Go Broncos, but I got to bet with my head. And although it's been a rough 8 years watching the Chiefs just dominate since they got Mahomes. I do bet with my head, not my heart. That's why I usually typically don't bet on Bronco games because too much fandom in there. Guys, you guys know, I'm 33 years old, and football has been my life for the entirety of it, and I'm a true diehard Broncos fan. So I don't bet on the Broncos unless it's just a crazy pick that I cannot resist. And more times than not, it's against the Broncos, which sucks. Cheers, guys. That's all I got for you. Like I said, if you like my style, or like what I'm doing here, hit that subscribe button. Join in on the community. We're trying to grow this page, trying to get bigger so I can help more people out here. I do put in a lot of time on these picks, and I do it for you guys. So hit that subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and hit that little notification bell so you get all my videos. Feel free to share it with your friends, and I do like to see the comments. If you're tailing my picks, if you're not, if you're totally fading what I'm doing here and you don't like it at all, let me know. I just like to see what people are doing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time.